talk about a special subject that's in psychology called ISIS. And that's the main part of the lecture. I will talk a little about sales training as well, because we are not sales trainers. Sales trainers are like the driving school. They teach people how to do it. And still people don't do it. That's the problem sometimes. So when a car has a problem with the cylinders, you don't send it to the driving school. You send it to the mechanics. So we are more like the mechanics, but we cooperate with a lot of sales trainers, because that is important too. This is a simplified sales process so everyone knows what we're talking about. The first thing you need to do in sales is actually to initiate contact with people. You agree on that? Or you have no one to sell to? So for me, salespeople, they normally sell. They don't sell enough, normally, and that's the problem. And the problem they don't sell enough is very easy, because they don't have enough with customer to sell to. That's reasonable. And why not? Because they haven't prospect enough. And they haven't prospect enough because they haven't called enough, talked to enough with people. Good enough is not good enough anymore. So we're talking a lot about visibility management. If people are going to have a chance to choose you and choose your product, your services, you need to be visible on the market. And in sales, that's the customers or prospect, some coming from your marketing department or whatever, that's your leads you're running on, your existing customers and your prospect. You need to be visible to them. So it's different. We all are in sales in one way or another, whether we think about it or not. We maybe just don't have the title. But we sell every day, most of us. So what do you need to measure? This is what we measure. Everyone knows motivation is important. But what is motivation? It's different from different people. So we measure it as the physical energy you put in every day in your work. For me, it's 3 questions that is essential in my world. It's not if they have good empathy, good ego drive, hard drivers, self-starters, all the words we use about salespeople. But will they make sales calls? It's nice to be empathic, but if you don't do any sales call or enough with them, they don't use the skill. We look in all our tests or our research for over 1 million salespeople in the world. We combine the test result with different industries and people in different industries, and we make a prediction how much a person actually will perform. Just to help recruiters to find out, is an idea to have 1-hour session interviewing this person, or shall I drop it before and go further and find other people? For me, I also use it with existing salespeople to show how much they can develop. Because if you're low here, you have a larger development scale. Try to help them get motivated to put effort to change something of the behavior they learned during the years. And you remember, I said, call reluctance is toxic. That means you was not born with it. It's learned behavior. That means you can unlearn it through cognitive behavior training. Over-preparers. People prepare too much. My extreme is 45 minutes before a call to book a meeting with you, and you didn't answer, and they prepare 45 minutes for the next call. Then you make 6 calls possible a day, not more. Hyper-pro. People who are floating above think they're better than the rest. If they don't sell, it's the manager's fault, or the district they have, or the trainer's fault. It's not their fault, because they actually should be the manager or the trainer, because they know more, they think. Yielder, the most common one. They yield for others, so they maybe hold the homework, but they don't close. Yielders are afraid of being too pushy, too aggressive to get the order. So instead, they're waiting, and someone else will take the order from them. Because we are in research, we work with big numbers. We looked at 300,000 salespeople in 11 countries, how they do when they sell, through a psychology method called Bayes analysis. That means you have a student behind you when you're selling, and then follow a behavior pattern, exactly what you do every 30 seconds. And we started with that in 1972, something like that. And in year 2000, we had 300,000 salespeople who have followed. And we look into that, we found 6 different major ways of selling. Where some ways are more popular because of the trends in the training industry. This is a selling styles test, which is more, I just put it in so you can see it. It's 6 different styles, and we combine it to the norm for different industries as well. So you can see how they are sales trained. Just to help you to understand, because you can't see it, sorry for that. This is image-oriented, competitive, need-based, service, product, and image. Sorry, I had to say that was rapport. These people are so high in need-based training, so you don't need to invest need-based training for this person. That's a loss of money. They're already so good at it. And we think you should train styles you don't actually normally know how to do, so you can meet other people and be good at them. Rapport-oriented is about creating rapport, creating friendship. You buy from me because you like me. The product is good enough, but we buy because we are friends. We develop a friendship. Competitive-oriented selling styles is I know when I leave the room, you will have another competitor for me staying outside or a couple of minutes, so I need to close the order before I leave, or I will not have the order. So people that are closing-oriented use a lot of sales technique to press in or get the order. And the worst conflict I always see, and I always train salespeople to understand it, or sales trainer, is when a competitive-oriented salesperson meets a rapport-oriented buyer. And sales selection is always a prediction of something. The better you predict, the better you recruit. The less reluctant people you have, the easier for the sales trainer to train them, because they will take it much quicker. You need less time to train them if they're not reluctant. The way you treat call reluctance is actually cognitive behavior training. So you need to be put into that and train that. And then you need to classify something that are important when you're choosing, when you recruit. You have R tests. There are 2 tests on the market. Personality tests, because you asked about that, are normally R tests. You are empathic. You are dominant. We are more interested in the behavior, observation, what this person is doing. Like how many sales calls will you do next week? Instead, you're empathic, or dominant, or hard driving. When it's come to sales call reluctance, it's easy. You test them to see what the problem are. You have a workshop so they understand their problems. It's a very different workshop because it's actually working with people's resistance, not their skill to develop it. It's actually working with resistance to get them understand what they need to do to get better. And then you have a coaching program based on cognitive behavior training to change the behavior and get the numbers up. And when the number is up, send them immediately to the sales trainer to get quality, because now it's getting important with the quality. Measure, check, be better on what you're doing. Try to find instruments that help you. And please don't waste salespeople that not performing. Check them out first to see if it's worth an investment to help them change.